Thank you. Nay phần họp của John thế. Okay. Hôm nay tôi cho Dr. Lý Bảo Xiong nên tôi tổ chức báo để khi Dr. Lý Bảo Xiong here mình có cứ bây giờ cái mình nhỏ phong như gần đầu cái thầu ít cái bộ gì kiểu author cái gì nè, còn đó cái đi Dr. Lý Bảo Xiong hay cũng nhiều cũng chỉ bây giờ là cái Yale University so lúc chế đã có đâu mà đó cái second story cái nè. Nghe giờ đi Dr. Lý Bảo hay cái tuần đấy Dr. Lý Bảo nhớ biết sao cái time là sẽ evan để lưu duplex tôi cũng cho thế thì giờ tôi nên giờ có tông cái bên ship on để lo lại chỉ ta là trong cái tôi muốn đi chơi thế cái bên ship on xin để lo lại. Thank you for the introduction. Trong share đó này trong số tu hạt địa nông nông này hạt kẹp của tôi đó về sao là thằng mình chỉ cho địa legislation in the state of Minnesota, which are the most tropical fruit and thank you for hosting. Kusa địa lúc công chân là giờ lúc hạt địa dùng cho bên home community nênยังthả tàu của chi xong rồi là bé giờ tôi cảnh sai béยังtàu của chi xong đơn này thế nào để quay cho lúc cùng hậu hạt địa committee 100 đầu chairman Wayne thao có họ là cho tàu lúc cùng hậu kusa địa vô ba tàu bên home để cú support có thì lúc cùng hậu nó theo này khỏi agenda và cho cú hạt địa một cái share theo chỉ ta lên đời cú hạt địa trong xe na hạt địa không có gì vấn đề là cái cú yêu biết cho lên đời hạt địa bên mong lúc mẹ caucus có bên một cái sự đó lúc mẹ caucus nói hạt địa lúc cùng hậu nó chữ legislator nhất là bị capital để một hạt địa bị to senator là đó bị下to house representative nhất là hậu na mà hạt cho hạt địa ý đi nên tôi bảo là hạt địa sát senate cái bên mua senator hậu Senator Susan Party Senator Tu Hyung thì nhớ cho bên sát house cái một cú là cho địa represent Fu Lee, represent Jae Hyung, Liz Lee, Samantha Vang, Dolly Va là cho Samantha Sensor Mira, na cái bên ya cầu lần, Dolly thì bảo hai bên mong với chủ hòa thế bên hòa bên lúc community thế bên hắn mong biệt địa nhớ chỉ kêu lúc state nó chỉ mua mọi cơ tu mong legislator hoặc cơ tu xóa hoặc cơ tu nhớ là legislator nhớ ý đồ là đi nè cho nên Minnesota biết thì mọi cơ tu hạt địa mong legislator và nhớ cho California cái là mua cơ lần legislator chỉ là xóa nhớ là thế gì cũng là hay này nè cái con nói giờ cái phát sinh đó để bên mong cu và mình cứ nhớ cho Minnesota con nói giờ vì hạt địa cái sự ba the community biết thì mua hạt địa cơ tu mong nó chịu nhớ đầu Minnesota còn nói như họ chỉ nhớ khoa bên lúc community thế khoa bên nhà bên gì thế kiểu thấy cho thế trong số tụi na còn nói như họ để cú giải tụi nhà mong cú very proud that bên một legislators nhà Minnesota đúng một đi nào giờ đây nó khi mình chỉ bảo ban được cú na cú chỉ là tiền nhỏ cú kia là kia Wallace State represent C nó xếp và chỗ này là tiền cú yang ít chữ nhà Minnesota bên tua thay thế tua bên phong trào Minnesota cái bên mà là chỉ là cho California cái tất cả nó cụ thể là nhóm Minnesota chỉ mua la cái top block của nó cụ thể tất cả là đơn nhóm họ cũng là đơn nhóm cái giờ bị cụ tao họ lên the Congress women Betty McCollum cái cụ thể chỉ là đơn nhóm cái là đơn nhóm cái lúc trong cái được thấy thì she cũng get political experience hay cho nên để oversee cổ chí xong cha đó nè đầu theo vấn đề cái thầu cũng là cái public không được nói cái giờ thầu ở đâu để trên là phong tập họ cái là có bé tu để một cái cho bé federal courthouse ở Sacramento nói cái nhóm để đi bé lúc mong American ad hoc để bắt chuột thọ theo và mấy trong bé tu nói thì là form lúc mong American ad hoc ở Sacramento là hoặc giờ hay tiệt protest ở bé federal courthouse ở Sacramento County nó nè để giờ họ phá hai chỗ này thì trong đó họ phải ra cái trong họ phải có cái Steve Lee rồi là theo work cái bên thì ba Steve Lee là đầu school board họ phải có blog Steve Lee thì đầu city council họ phải có đầu như thì bỏ để như đầu mayor thì họ phải có election mayor na chỉ ta lên đó tuần sai Maya va là cũng như tuần sai bên trái của Sacramento, tại chỉ nói City Council nhất đầu Sacramento kia, chỉ ta lên đó tuần chuối xong ya như tụi tôi luôn nhá của Sacramento đặc biệt sai người tàu của school board nhất đầu El Pro, chỉ ta lên đó tụi đi theo Ali mua nó như tụi Democratic President nhất đầu lúc council nó như thì lúc trong thời ít cũng rồi cũng mua cho Ali tổ tại chỉ nó chỉ ta lên đó nhắc được Democratic Club thì cũngยังว่าเขาลืมđó as the president แล้วก็ที่either delegate to the California State Party appointed by Governor Newsom อยากตลอดที่ให้มินชีปะบาร์เป็นเป้าที่บุคคล political experience ผู้ยาลิกาที่แบบในที่ต่อต่อลินเดอร์ไอ้วันนี้เชื่อชอบเดินน้องผู้ยาเปียจ่อเลยที่เป็นก็ตุ้งบนใส่รัวเองยอดจะเป็น state capital แล้วก็เขาลืม整个บริการจะเป็นห้อง community กูเปลี่ยนจริงๆนะตัวกูอยากให้เด็กที่ represent fully นะนี่อยากให้ตัวที่ตัวรวยเนี่ยก็ house representative นี่อยากรู้ committee นี่อยากตัว chair นะตัว chair ใช้ตัวเดียวนี่อยากตัว chief committee of capital investment ขณะที่ตัวนี้ให้ที่จะช่วยจะเกี่ยวที่ตัวชอบที่ตัวเจเนี่ยตัวเขา state administrator New York to approve bonding to secure to build bridges and infrastructure for the state of Minnesota. New York to chair the committee now in New York to choose talk infrastructure and donate about. Now to agriculture, your jitsu the state of Minnesota. Leslie side out the New York to chair near to choose a talk your jitsu guy can yet see another agriculture in the state of Minnesota. You have a very important role too. Law represent Jay Xiong near to chair of workforce development. Nick Holu, Nick community development, like the care Mino Yao, Kenya Titsi, or chair, the appropriate near the community, law the Geholu, and near like a hat in Jay Xiong committee appropriate now. I donated Jay to chair, not the whole committee that. A lot of Leslie getting the vice chair of property tax in the state of Minnesota. So I thought the Nishaishu Tantalk had the property tax appropriation in the state of Minnesota. Lot of the Golivaha getting the chair of pensions. Tantalk the retirement fund for the state of Minnesota, including all teachers, state workers, state trooper, and fire and sheriff, and in the not. Luke committee the equal $1 billion of state retirement fund. It's an important, very important role in the state of Minnesota. Based on Simon a lot of the vice chair of environmental for the Senate. A lot of the Senate from Hurricane, we have to chair legacy and environment. You have to Senate. Susan Park, you have to have the vice chair of capital investment. Okay. You have to do inside Yipong, since American, you have to chair of Minneapolis, Chutan Dog, a house of Minneapolis. Lot of the good get Guadalena, Hutchin, Gento, Baymon, a Gulajo, get committee, get a donate, do not Gina. You have to like Bayna law. A committee to serve the state of Minnesota. Either represent a committee to represent the state of Minnesota. Number budget the state of Minnesota tax appropriation. Number one priority is that we are actually the people that budget the state budget for the state of Minnesota for all aspects of services in the now. Number all get pay a show get the top, pay a the show get guy na. Pay show tan talk get guy like she does the state of Minnesota. Joya had the legislative team like see like show guy long guy here appropriate money suit. The governor does not have the authority to write laws and appropriate money and change laws. He can only request to the legislature to write laws and appropriate money. Yan là sao? I don't know. Còn nói giờ cái hội trường kiến vớiตัวcho被审贴到 home community 到被 state capital 係嚟到呢個 committee 比較有一個 committee trường kiến係到到呢係啲be proud 都係啲比較mong nhớ cho họ majority là kể sai to để biết thì tôi trong giàu nữa để thêm như cho nên là why is the election important? What cái này chủ mục bom what cái bây chủ biết thì để bắt đầu biết community giờ bây mong chỉ nhớ cho sao majority cái bây chỉ tôi giàu cái trong của chair cái bây sau chỉ một cái là sau legislation bây chỉ một cái là appropriate money là cho community nào lấy tiền nhớ majority cái lấy tiền mua cho cái sau cái lấy tiền mua cho cái appropriate những cái shape là trong community giờ này nhớ minority cái là chỉ muốn sau cái là chỉ muốn appropriate money hay là cho bé cái bé to vì bé và Democrat nhất là Minnesota vì là Democrat giờ majority là Democrat giờ này nó bé khi là tao giàu cái trong là appropriate nhé hay là cho nên cái cú biến nên chỉ mình nó cho nên sẽ cho nên để nó quyết thảo mình chỉ cho bé phải economic impact và bé tạo để bé mong chuyển cảnh bảo đi cả từ state of Minnesota để bé cho họ từ là bé thì bao hạt tiền bé muốn nông nghiệp bảo đi cả từ state chỉ thọ áp phá cho áp phá những người nó bé mong nghe là bé của lăng nghe là cho $2.3 billion in income sai đó thì bé lúc community nó bé cái nhiệt sẽ bé gross到有$2.3 billion in 20 years from 300 million. Còn nó để bé more economic power in the state of Minnesota. Bé chân kiến bảo đi cả nữa. Là cho bé cái tax nữa. Tao nâng ở trong nó bé thì bé cái blog bé cái blog lăn nhẹ. They say annually that she not bé thì cho up or ye kiểu $1 million of tax to the state of Minnesota. Và bé tao nó nè. Bé có contribution nhá. Up or thế ye kiểu $1 lăn nhẹ to the state of Minnesota. Còn nói giờ cái kho thì chuyển kiến cho the state of Minnesota. Okay. Bé kiểu cái bát chế nè. Okay. Hai bé kiểu property bé. In the last 20 years, you gained the upward kiểu land without $4.1 billion in 20 years. Sai đó để bé có equity thế bé có the equitable growth in real estate. You long bảo đến đó rồi. Okay. Hai cho bé có the higher education thế chứ mình tu cần đó. Bé có 50% educated so that she not bé có 50%. Bé double bé cái educational rate in bé community. Mình tu sai cần đó chân chế mua lại nè. Bé double that rate. I donate. Bé cái population or how lười nè. Tao nâng có trong nó went from cầu phá to chỉ cầu phá lần mua là lụa của nhất trong Minnesota. Còn nó sai tao bé mong nhờ ít cái để wow tao share or la lụa thế. Wow lười contribute to the overall value of the job growth industry in the state of Minnesota. Okay. Thả bên mình nó đâu sẽ có biết bao there why are we so influential and important to the state of Minnesota? Có biết bao biết họ hay there value in the sự. Tận đây nó biết thả mình chỉ cho legislation. Okay. Vì hay there bên mua phần majority chống nhớ cho Democratic Senate, House thế biết the governor nhớ Democrat cái basically pass cái chair of the state of Minnesota. Chỉ ta lên đó lấy của nó thì là mua $17 billion hay tiền nhớ hậu surplus a reserve nó bây giờ cho là sheet là 3%. Giờ họ nói giờ họ chuyển kiến bây giờ mua share là kia hoặc nó hoặc chứ là bây giờ appropriate到cái nhiên là tất cả là cho bây giờ community giờ lên đó mà bố thả mình chỉ cho cái nhiên là cho vào bên long nè. Okay. Được tu yếu thế rồi chúng tôi thả cho nên long thì chỉ nó vừa thả vào bên bao bên này nè. Tiền cho nên nó bé tao appropriate cái nhiên nó ní nó bảo đi trả lời. Let me see here. Okay. the cái nghĩa be appropriate na để hai chỗ này á the bill nó là ba the DNR Department of Resource lo hay the educated higher cái năng dụng tí à đi be mua chuột của phá là chỗ na cho the preservation of indigenous culture telling the provide money appropriation for preservation funding. They're more $8.5 million going on. Okay, got the SGU funding for health and wellness, mental health programming. They're more $1 million. Lato SGU had the veterans family funding for appropriation $500,000. For the museum of the SGU veterans, they want bonding $2 million. To the natural resources to hire liaison in the Hmong community and to recruit and educate. They got them block hajona. They more yi bo block the pa 1,000 lotona. But Hmong ko yisan. They more $3 million funding for the Tuachena. Lato lu the Hmong garden. La Hmong Achini Plaza. You know, they like they more block for chica panya la fund la over there. Lato had the St. Paul Asian Arts Center funding. They want the $2.6 million now. Lato the Culture of Hmong Museum. They want $300,000. Lato the Hmong American Farmers Association. Lata a ipo chica acre bed. They want online near la yoka abe la mo te na. Lato Hmong Family United International Film Festival. They want $1.2 million. Lato had the Hmong Chamber of Commerce, they want $1 million. Lato Hmong American Partnership, they want $2 million, okay? Lato Hmong Minnesota Heritage Grants, they want University of Minnesota, like Kalabika, at the Hmong Writing, Hmong RPA writing system, they want double part of the University of Minnesota now, okay? Just some of the highlights that we can donate. Họ tuần đây nó cũng thả mà giờ cho lên được họ had the near này tôi nói the bay 50th anniversary of Hmong celebration. Giờ đi gặp được there, okay? Họ nói cái bay appropriate tôi had the awful power celebrate Hmong 50th anniversary tuột ở Minnesota, đúng không? Thì trong nó cái số tôi ít cái bay appropriate tôi government this time we have $200,000 to the Hmong celebration 50th anniversary of being in Minnesota. Chỉ ta lên đó chắc cái đó bé khu had một tàu block của power đó the Hmong to the historical society to appropriate block của power đó the Vietnam War typically the Southeast Asian and you celebrate like you had the community getting that up. So 200 to the Hmong and 400 to the other communities. A beta appropriation now, for the 50th anniversary. I donate about in that. Okay. So in the bit time in the legislation, but that Lee Baldy mentioned in the she would mention, I'll be curious get bit pass now over 100. It will highlight guy Chen number E给被 pass 到这个还的，有一群人呢，以上我都1个 or less， 那给给咪都咪用木等的 college for free in the state of Minnesota， OK？ 好，那要还正经呢，还都被蒙啊，要被蒙有等的正这的那个要好的 appropriation， 那就给 colleges 个被给咪都咪用啊，木等的 for free。 State College, University of Minnesota. If your parents' household make less than $80,000, your child goes to school for free. But that is why not the biggest school get more $200 million of fund bigger chicken dog give me more free lunches in the state of Minnesota. And I have Lucy at Ganda that she know she does not basically make appropriation there. Nyoto had the housing, Section A housing, public housing, they fund $1.4 billion law. Make sure that not J-Lo and take it, J-Lo Section 8 housing là cho subsidized housing cho kiểu lâu thế cho hay tên dân nhẹ là kể based on $1.4 billion. Hay có đôi này thì annually housing funding under $25 million, but we appropriate $1.4 billion. Dân đó nè. Bây giờ thì pass ít cái cái thì đầu tư mua thì chúng ta cứ đủ lo na, mua natural disaster that they cannot raise prices on goods in the state of Minnesota. Sai tôi này bỏ thì mua natural disaster nó cái là những cái cho thêm cái giống mỏ thêm để cho community này cái in the state of Minnesota we now have protection that thì mua natural disaster nó cái là chúng ta seeing cái the prices of water and necessity to the community. Còn nói như họ chuyển cái đó. Chúng ta lên là bây giờ thì pass Democratic Protection Package for Voters' Right. Thì có被 protect 在家有帮忙，这个有一种人他就是帮到，那个是帮忙多，那被 make sure that there are no discrimination in the voting process. 好像整个 state of Minnesota is like they protect the women's right to actually reproductive access health care. So the abortion is protected in the state of Minnesota, and we have now made it a protection legislation to protect abortion in the state of Minnesota. Your paw in the state of Minnesota, they passed their background firearm checks to safe storage, the outlawing special triggers to ensure that the paw not to be modified to be rapid fire. More rapid fire, automatic fire. Okay. We also passed unemployment insurance for school hourly workers. Workers in the workforce in the school got the protection and their wages. They earn sick and save time. Chạy tao thì bên mua hậu lưỡi mà tao giờ bây giờ là so là tu nhẹ thiết chỉ là tu nhỏ là tu bé cái nhẹ thì dùng nhỏ này là chỉ mua sick and save time cho bé thì chỉ rồi nó we have made those protection here in the state of Minnesota. Là cho hạt thì tại chỉ nói bé pass tao ít cho cái hạt thì giờ nên mua hậu lưỡi chia na là chỉ mua xí nông này có history ở này có pay salary. This is also very important to about the now job at the economy more holina. Ma la you know at the naked wage, what was the past history of your wage? Be the she under the discriminate current pay, the bit of show it's a guy out to pull a non tech guy that it on a city to go to monkey traumatic like there. It makes sense that she said to shut down the moment on a she telling that they pay one dollar I can provide it to each and every one of you so that you can read it on your own time. What is important to the community that you know how to name. So now the House of Representatives, the re-election, the president election. If I know the senator to more election, the House of Representatives more election, the whole Minnesota. If I know the food, this Liz, the more election, so now the she will be election, the more case Nhớ cho hạt địa bây giờ House of Representatives nhớ hậu St. Paul cái hạt đồ này là hạt địa là cái race cái chỉ chuẩn nhớ cho hạt địa mong nhớ trong cái bây giờ the Democrat nhớ trong cái hạt đồ kiểu 70% cái là cái race cái hạt địa nhung gì nè cái race nhớ cho cái cho trong cái cua nhớเป็นดูcho cái mình cả đó hay donate hay thì họ Woodbury cái mong cái ít okay cái từ hai nâng đang mong cái một quay của 9% xí cái gì của 9% là cái mình cả tới xí hay là donate na sai đó thì nhớ cho Woodbury cái cú trong cú dân by 9%. But the block of cheap to the opponent. So the margin there is very small. You know, very small. Na. Yali na like gulu race man in yai had they very contentious and competitive. Via they have uchi to gulu dong like a big more majority in the House of Representatives. Ni chen ken more than that. Yeah, bay bong bay lu dong si game. Bay chi to majority of House of Representatives. Bet you must see Shaukai, bet you must see appropriate year in the next 2 years. That's what is important. So bet that yeah, bet election, bet your Democrat, how much you don't like all of the day like bet touch to either line yet. I don't know about now. Bet about then why is the election so? Okay, and you're in the Gulu district, not to be Woodbury. I thought bet run to có bây giờ share theo biết của thì cái mua mong chọn nhớ tới the east suburb of Woodbury. Để vì lý do tan cho cái state representative cố ý lần thì vậy tụi mình du học rồi you seat outside of the metro, okay? Nhớ tới cái suburban district chỉ mỗi tụi mình khi du chỉ mỗi tụi mình Asia rồi, except for how Woodbury thế nào. Còn outside đó thì hạt địa là cho của nó tận đây. That is should be very proud in our community. And now we have representation in the suburbs. So I thought that now we're moving away from the metro. In St. Paul, we're going to have a lot of difficulties with other immigrant groups in reaching those seats. The Shihapin towards the suburb, like a big percentage of getting new seats is very highly unlikely. I have to bishop about it. Come on, young the campaign donation. Cú là cú chỉ mua là chỉ là chuyện thằng mình này cú sa thì long này chuyện này một question nó cú sa tên này cái question thì đó sao này tôi cho đó.
Okay, tôi cho Representative Ethan Cha and again. Como que yo share like a cheto no pe kong tia, thank you very much na. So nowผมเลยจะ question นู่นเที่ย Okay
คุณนู้นหรอตัวไมโครโฟนหรือเท่นเนาะ
cái nhau lòng ý tên của giờ tiêu lòng này gì sao cái lúc xưa nó có cho từ nên họ và cho trái chia và nên sầu lò nó hay cho nó yếu bỏ chia nè bây mà bây giờ chỉ yếu thì xí mà lúc này nó cú mua và cho tiêu lâu nửa pass rồi thì cho to bé trap vào cú thì bây giờ người ta bây giờ qua tàu nữa hay là không được do bây tù nó nữa cái cú nó có ý lo nữa sao vì thế này pan cho trái để họ cho người ta nó không được.
Yeah, nhớ cho này cho bỏ này cho lòng là cái có chuẩn cái gọi này register, okay? Yeah, then you transfer naked pawn. I can make sure you register it, okay? And then we'll go on down there to transfer naked pawn, okay? Enjoy this.
And
follow up cái lâu there. It's a retroactive. How retroactive? Nằm chất trái nó chủ yếu chỉ trong nó mua sứ. Ở giờ thì đáp phỏng là option đáp phỏng là tôi mua nè. So it's legally illegal. You have to legally new leader and new project you move register or you have to tòn tên nó and you hong nó muốn mua được tụ thiết cho cái thiết bông đồ không cỡ mà
Yeah, I don't know the how retroactive mà Gucci Ball nó đâu phải thì one day we answer naked question. Let me give you a disclaimer, okay? Bây cái pass hay bây law hay thì show cho bây state capital cái ý xong nó bây show cho hay thì chỉ phá block của cái chuyện, okay? And so I don't have the answers for all of your questions, but nyali ko dia kadap ya padana our registration okay according to the ATF na ke ne yo chu at dia that pa yo chu ya register under ne ya okay ke ya ka pa na chu ya at dia register under okay Numa serial number ne chu register na okay. So even if you have owned these for 10 years and it's not registered under your name, the best advice I give you is to go register these guns under your name.
One of them means it.
Yeah, we're here. I can move later.
Nhớ rằng ý tưởng nào đó là quyền giải tha của to tại lúc của Hồng Kông American Partnership to cũng mới lo lu about free college right for households under 80,000. Is that household based off of the size of the household as well too, or is 80,000 the flat amount? And is this ongoing, or is this just within the next couple years that it's been budgeted for?
This is ongoing, and it is a total gross income of 2 households. So if you do your tax single person, then you're single, right? That should go on it. Okay, it's a total of on it called gross income. Yeah.
Any other question?
Ethan, 上的话我来讲你因为研究盘的呢，按照很多的来把 free tuition fees 的，像可能 apply 到 state university ที่ college 的สวัสดิ์ละนี่เราจะ private university 的จี apply 呀
Applies only to public state colleges.
Yeah, there was a proposal to include private colleges from a scholarship that didn't pass.
Can I clarify that? Yeah, be appropriate in the public and non-profits. Okay, so we don't appropriate money to private companies and private anything that's private because these are public dollars. Okay.
Representative Ethan, I have a question. When will that apply? The 80,000 free tuition and the people do?
Let it pass the option of baking the bit that you know. The more you have the don't say what that you know that they apply with the approval that. Okay, so it's already active.
Yeah, we are too late for us.
And still apply for it. Yes.
Okay, Ethan,คุณไปขอแต่ละอย่างพอนะจอเล็กเฉลยที่น้องลูก community เอาน้องไปพอเนี่ยเขาCouncil on Asian Pacific นะช่วยมุ่งขอ complaint from the community and then เนี่ยตัวที่เนี่ยที่ถึง Governor's Office เราจะเอาเนี่ยพอ more information ในการที่เนี่ย more update ตัวไปใช่
Thank you for that question. Do you understand that Hanoi are internal human resource issues? So we touched on that. But more information, okay? So to board members, state of Minnesota. So nhớ trở lại để bé cho nó chỉ biết là bé của employee of the state of Minnesota thì họ nó cái complaint đó tụi nó from big legislative game internal and confidential na cái của thảo số cho cái đó. Thì nhớ trở lại để what is being done currently about the situation. Đó là vấn đề cái vấn đề sẽ cho đó có gì để nên要的上的这 petition 的 voice community 落地的包含的被好 concern 的去听啊，的被拿去还是落要去弄被的就是为被个拿去的老多被个 home community 还的落地弄被的落地的包含的可能也很 important 对不对？你要找的都board members sing 那个你 apply for every 4 years, apply for appointment. She digital donate the appointment. The term that January, she แล้วตอนที่ตัวหนึ่งรอ replace the board member ทุกคนเขาเชิญตัวตาเลยเกี่ยวชิวนาเกี่ยว reappointment ให้ตัวเองนะแล้วก็เสียเลยเกี่ยวนี่ตัว employee of the state of Minnesota เกี่ยวกับม้วนนี้ตัวนายนะแต่ชี one day we'll get into that we have been in ชีลูกกงเหาเนาะนี่ดัชชีนะ okay so ลูกกงเหาเนาะเกี่ยว the legislator passed a guy at the governor ชิปเอาจากเกี่ยวกับไอเสียเด็กนั่นดูเขาแล้วก็เกี่ยวข้างอะไรแล้วที่ได้ว่าเปล่าลูกกงเหานะลูกกงเหาอีกเกี่ยวกับลูก Native American Council ลูกนับอ้อเกี่ยวกับลูก Latino Council เกี่ยวกับนับเป้เกี่ยวกับลูกBlack American Council เกี่ยวกับลูกนับเปล่าเกี่ยวกับลูก Asian Pacific Council เสียเขาจะดูthe executive director นะเปล่าลูกกงเหาเนาะจะเขาลูกไปโชว์ตัวจะแก่แล้วชื่อแล้วอย่างที่แก่แล้วจะเขาลูกto advise the governor of the state of Minnesota and advise the state legislator on issues pertaining to Asians in the state of Minnesota. They have no legislation authority. Let you more guy show legislation. Let you more guy vote. Let you go. Well, hold on. Make a legislator. Well, hold on. Governors na. Let's hold on. To advise and to report to the state legislator and the governor. Okay. Call a hydronana. We have to chair the MAP caucus. We show them let you to say that report. Let you to do chiku for auction. Hydronana. Kanaya issue that we're having with Lukonghao. Okay. Number two is that based on the information that we currently have that we can put out, get the Shinake, see how the situation get bumped out to Pania who the Michelle Weber, not Michelle Weber, you have to nine and we'll see you have the discipline, representing here in the she had donated that Shinake, let you know had the more the resolution about the big investigation project you don't conclude had donated okay.
One question.
Hi, Representative Cha. This is Yao Ya from Minnesota Hmong Chamber of Commerce. Sorry you can't be here with us today, but you are virtually with us. Maybe so we're going to have a deficit. And what are your thoughts as many of us who are looking forward to lobby for more appropriation, Hmong Chamber, and many others in this room as well. And we had a lot of great successes the past few years and with election as well. What are your thoughts on many of the people here who are going to be lobbying for more money and with a deficit in mind in 2025?
Yes, they're saying we're receiving money, we see a deficit, we may not, so we won't know until the coming years. But I donate we had an appropriation of $17 billion that we appropriate to community dollar. Okay, yes, okay. We will still have money appropriation because it's built into the budget of the state of Minnesota that we must appropriate a certain amount of the tax revenue into, for example, legacy, okay, or like agriculture, housing, workforce development, where I believe you guys receive your appropriation. So there will always be money in there. There will just be more process inventing who needs the money and who is doing what with their money. So word of advice and caution I give to all of you in this room is that if you have received the state of Minnesota and then the state has the right in a deficit year to recoup and take that money back to appropriate to other programs. So yeah, there you've been appropriate money and you're not allocating into services that was meant for, then the state has the right to recoup those money to reappropriate to other organizations or areas with sufficient funding. You know, I would just say that just because we're in a deficit doesn't mean it's not there. So, deficit, ask for appropriation. Our job is to find money and appropriation for community. So, you still should, and I recommend that you advocate for yourself, even if we're in a deficit.
Okay, final question.
mong là và celebrate lúc chi cho xong đó thầu tua lobby thì mà tua testify ya ít chịu tua testify thì chỉ bao nhiêu là này mà rồi lúc còn học tư là kia khó và chi cho xong đó.
So bao nhiêu Apple Pilot the 50th anniversary of Monaghan in more appropriation of the historical center society right. So the historical society có là có kinh nghiệm là cái trợ lý của cái list cái sử dụng到sau到好那个lợi用係啲在啲話 community 啦或者 board 啦 work celebration 啦特別好啦 okay so 反面咧被全摸到一個共好係啲好俾個 community 被摸到一個共好 historical society of the state of Minnesota 多一邊夢嘛do lời hay là Olu committee là sẽ là lời mà work cái hỗ trợ cho bên home community sao, okay? Họ nhóm được họ blog của họ nhé, bên mua là cho the Southeast Asian đó cái bên mong mua xí một thỏi nhé đó là work bên cái the 50th anniversary celebration aside from the 200,000 so nếu mua cái một thỏi cái nhé đó là personally nó mấy cái công hậu là the she work a celebration. If họ blog của họ nhé for grants, competitive grants, no, okay. Họ của họ nhé là cái một historical society là what to choose thế là choose new celebration, đó.
Okay, good job.
Okay, cái điều thank you very much, Representative Ethan Cha, for your time today. And also thank you all of you for being here today. One day we move này thì cái thầy ta có vẻ ok đấy rồi. Yeah, let's come and have a picture here. And give him applause. Yes.